Well, I'm out in the garage with Mavy, my 22 Maverick, and today we're going to be looking at a couple different things. First is dash cams, and the second is LED lighting. Now you may wonder why I'm putting those two things together, and that will become abundantly clear later, because there is a correlation, a connection, a joining of the two of why I'm doing the same thing together. Now, let's start with the dash cams. You wonder why a dash cam is important? Well, the first thing is you can capture some really cool footage with a dash cam. This is from my dash cam in my work truck, my van. So here we go. I'm just pulling up to the stoplight, just minding my own business, and I hear this screeching tires, and I see a dump truck come around the corner and thump over, and asphalt pours out of the back, smoke everywhere. I was surprised there wasn't as many people as I thought jumping out of their cars to make sure everybody was okay. So I jump out, run up to the scene. I'm on phone with 911, who this must be a new dispatcher from what I understand from my buddies at the police department, because I couldn't get off the phone with this girl. She was not that intelligent. I'm like, here's where we're at. It's a major intersection, right? And yes, there are injuries. There are people hurt. And she kept going back and forth and couldn't type in what was supposed to be going into the thing. So I'm still on the phone with her. Finally, I'm like, yes, you need to send emergency personnel out here. There are injuries. There is a dump truck turned over on top of a Mercedes convertible. Finally, I get off the phone. I go over to the driver, and he's standing inside the truck, and I said, hey, let me get you out of there. So I grabbed the antenna, bend it out of the way, and yank the windshield off and throw it out of the way so he can get out. And he's pretty thankful. However, he's bleeding everywhere, so I run back to the truck, and I get him a towel, bring him a towel so he can wipe the blood off where he's just bleeding everywhere. And I wait for our emergency response teams, and I check to make sure the dude is okay. The elderly gentleman in the Mercedes convertible, who he ended up being okay, but a little bit burnt from the asphalt that poured into his car. I will say this, the emergency first responders for our city, Franklin, are amazing. They are absolutely top notch, and it didn't take them long to get here. So the fire truck came, another fire truck, ambulances, fire department, and also the police started showing up, and who I knew all those guys, and that was a relief that they were there to take care of stuff. The driver's son came up at one point. The father had already been transported in the ambulance, and he was trying to figure out a way how he was going to sue the trucking company that had the dump truck, so he was a real piece of work. But I was glad that nobody was injured severely, and the gentleman that was driving the car could have been killed, and he was not. So I talked to the police friends of mine, and they said, hey, can you give us the video from the crash if you have the dash cam, because I told them I did, and that was very helpful to them to be able to investigate the accident. And eventually I got to get the heck out of there. Actually, this dash cam footage was used in the lawsuit against the company that had the dump truck, who the driver said the brakes failed, which they turned out to be not true. What happened was the turning lane went in front of him, and to not rear end a car going 65, 70 miles an hour, he tried to turn right, and when he did, the dump truck turned over because it was too full. So anyway, that was the end of that. So you can capture some really cool footage with a dash cam. Second, here's the second reason you might want a dash cam: if you own a Maverick. Unfortunately, one of the worst things about owning a Maverick is knowing that if you get in an accident, you will not get another one, because they've already gotten all the orders in for 2023, and you can't even order till 2024. So for some reason, if your vehicle is totaled, guess what? You will be without a Maverick for at least a year, who knows? Unless you want to pay some crazy markup over MSRP, yeah, you're going to go without a truck. Now, because the Maverick is new, because there's not many parts available for it, let's look at Copart, which is the auction company that sells all the wrecked vehicles to junkyards and rebuilders and things like that. But a bunch of these Mavericks have been rear-ended. And if I didn't have enough bad news, because of the fact it has like knee airbags, head airbags, shoulder airbags, butt airbags, airbags everywhere, When those get deployed, let me tell you, it's very, very expensive to replace all those and reset the computers and everything else, the sensors, if you've got rear sensors everywhere. So all these things add up to, oh my gosh, it's going to cost too much to fix and it's totaled. So that's a bad thing on the Maverick, plus you can't get one. And the last reason you might want a dash cam on your Maverick is this, is that if you're going to say goodbye to your Maverick because some person that has no mental capacity decides to rear end the back of your truck, at least you'll have a going away video. You'll have a going away video for your truck to see the last time you got to drive your Maverick before it was taken away to the great insurance graveyard in the sky. So anyway, those are the reasons that I like dash cams. But the main reason is you never know what you're going to capture on it. And with this one, I decided to go with a front and rear cam. I don't want an interior cam, that'd be dumb. But I also bought a front cam originally, and I thought, you know what? I want to have a rear one too, because these trucks are getting rear-ended all over the place. And thus the reason we'll be talking about LED lights later on. But let's go ahead and take a look at the dash cam that I bought, what we're going to install, and how hard is this stinking thing to put in. I don't think it's going to be too awful difficult. Certainly there's a huge amount of manufacturers for dash cams, but Thinkware is the people that make the ones for Ford, and they're the only ones that I know of that are actually manufacturing for Ford. Now the reason I bought them from Fairway Ford is because I know that they're going to work. If Ford is selling them as a Ford accessory, then you can guarantee that it's going to work in the truck. Sometimes they're not always the best, but I believe Thinkware makes actually a great dash cam. So let's take a look at which ones I bought. This is the VHL 3Z19G40C. I'll let you look at it. This is their base model, the front-only cam, and I think it's a V70 or a C70, something like that from Thinkware when you look at it. So this is what that one looks like, and it actually has the Thinkware logo on the front. I don't know if you can see it or not, but anyway, it's got the Thinkware logo on it, and this is the, they give it a different number for Ford. It's the DCE1FG, I believe. Okay. So anyway, that's the one that just faces front. There's nothing else. But the cool thing is, these direct wire in. It's managed with your start, and all these accessories come with it just to go up to your Ford. And it fits a lot of different Ford models, not just the Maverick, but indeed the Maverick. But I'm not going to install this one because I wanted the front and rear, mainly because all these trucks are getting rear-ended for some weird reason. Let me open this one up. This is the 3Z, I'll see if you can see that, 49-K model. And this is the front and rear, and this is an upgraded camera from the other one. Instructions. Same wiring, but has the wiring to go to the back as well as the front. Ignition switch. Here's the cam, and it says Thinkware dash cam, so you can be guaranteed that it is Thinkware. There we go. And this one is a little bit wider. It also has the capabilities for the rear camera, which is really small. I was surprised when I looked at it. This is the DC-M2FG. There's another model number that Thinkware has for their non-Ford model, but I think that maybe FG stands for Ford, I don't know. But this is the rear camera that goes on the back window, and it's baby size. But here's the cable that goes to the rear camera to go to the front, and various mounting accessories. And it comes with a 32 gigabyte card. Now I can tell you that that is really super small. You do not want to put this in your camera because 32 gigs compared to a lot of them now is like super small, and you can put up to, here it is. Here it is. You can put up to 128 gigs. So I got one of these. I'll put a link down below from Google for I think they're like 10 bucks, 12 bucks, something like that for 128 gigs. The video actually will roll over, but you get a lot more capacity with this, especially if you're recording from two different cameras. So that's what I would say, is get you a bigger SD card. Now there's one other item that Ford doesn't even sell that I haven't seen. Let me grab that real quick. Thinkware dash cam accessory. This is actually the external GPS receiver, and these are like $40. I didn't see it on any of the Ford websites, but this plugs in to the side of your main camera, and it'll give you a lot more capabilities. Like if you're sitting at a stoplight and the traffic starts moving and you don't recognize that, it'll beep. It beeps if you're gonna run into somebody. In addition to the Ford 360, this would also give you an audible beep. So so we'll take a look at what that does. But for 40 bucks, I figured, you know, whatever, stick this thing up on the windshield and plug it in, we'll be good to go. So now let's get to the business end of installing this on a 2022 Ford Maverick. All the Mavericks will be the same as far as like installation of this particular dash cam, which is the Ford one. So let's get going. So I went ahead and loosened the torque screw, took the mirror off, and I'm going to try to pop off this black piece. I don't see any connectors, or I think it's just held on with some clips. So I'm going to take a couple plastic pry bars and see if I can pop this part off. See if I can pop this part off first. Yes, indeedy. It popped off. You can see it's just got plastic connectors. Just carefully go around and pop that off. We're going to route our wiring across and then down, and then the dash cam will be right there, probably in the middle behind the mirror. The OBD connectors down here. I've got this panel removed here. That one. Took off the sun visor because that holds this up. We're going to route our wiring up underneath there, and then basically it's going to come down through there. So that looks good. I was pretty excited that the plastic cut the crap out of my knuckle. Here's the instructions that come with it, and it comes with all the kit, and it's basically the same instructions for all three. I did find this funny. Read and understand these instructions. So not only do you have to read them, you have to understand them before proceeding with installation of the Thinkware Dash Cam. Alright, so the first thing it says to do is take the OBD connector off. There's two 8mm nuts. I'll take those off real quick. So I got the wires routed to it. I've got the power wire, the GPS module, and the rear camera wire all hooked in. This cover should just snap back over it without having to cut any holes or anything. So let me do that real quick. That looks good. Okay, so now I've routed it down here. Comes down through, just kind of back in behind there. And they're both coming out. Both coming out right there. So I can go ahead and put all these covers back on in my sun visor. Alright, I'm running the wire underneath this plastic here. You can kind of see. And then coming around the back side here, and I'm going to come up and then just pop out in the back. Then I'm just going to pop out in the back here, and the camera mounts, I think, up here. Alright, I got the wire coming out there behind the back seat, and once I connect it to the camera in the back window there, I'll loop it up and I'll put a zip tie on it, take up the extra slack. Alright, I got the wire up to here. I got to try to figure out where I want to bring it. But this is the last fun part that I have to deal with. Alright, there's the rear camera. Beautiful. The only thing I have left now is to get all those wires tucked up underneath and mount the secondary OBD sensor and pop the covers back on, and I am done with this thing. Okay, here's the repositioned OBD2, and I zip tied the other one back to the main wiring harness so it's not going to fall down. Now all I got to do is put in my two now as far as installation goes, just put my two covers back on, and then we can look at the app. Alright, looks great, awesome, super duper, super happy. How many more adjectives can I put in there besides super and excited? But yes, it looks great, and it's hidden up behind the mirror, which is amazing and not interfering with the view. I finally got it connected. Here's the app. Let's go to live view. That's going to show what the live view is of the camera, which is pretty much what it is. And then if I want to see the rear camera, I hit R, and it'll show me what the rear camera is. There's the rear camera. Works like a champ. It's recording sound. And then if I want to go to, let's say, files, I can go to files here, And there's the files that we just watched. And then you can look at the rear camera files if you want to. Pretty sweet. And then it's got a bunch of other features that I will go through later. But this is the app that you need, the Thinkware Dash Cam link. And there's the Thinkware cam right there. Awesome. And it's not connected to my smartphone. It is just filming right now. That's cool. And when I shut off the truck, I think it films for like 2.5 minutes and then it'll shut down. From the outside it looks nice. Because of the mirror, it's hard to even really recognize it. And then this is the GPS receiver right there. You can see it. But it'll also give time and speed and everything else in the recordings. So this is one slick little unit, and then you got the back camera too. Okay, the camera installation went pretty easily except a mangled up finger. Next thing I wanted to discuss was LED lighting. Now you may wonder what I think LED lighting and cameras have in common. Well, here it is. If you can increase your visibility to the people behind you, maybe that idiot that's on his phone might see the red lights before he runs into the back of you and you capture it on your dash cam, right? Prevention of getting rear-ended versus filming getting rear-ended. Now, Lasfit makes some excellent LED lighting. Here's some video from my Jeep JK that I just restored. I put some Lasfit lighting in the rear tail lights and it was amazing! Because this one's gone out again. And I don't know why it went out, if it was a bad bulb or what, but I'm going to go ahead and put these in and we're going to see how bright it is compared to the stock ones. Alright, so these are the cheap LEDs that I bought, which aren't that bad, you know, as far as like the light output goes. I could live with that, but I bought a Lasfit 3157, which is supposed to be the premier bulb that you can use, and you don't have to do anything special with it. It's supposed to be super bright and it's supposed to fix the fast flash. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in and see if indeed that does fix the issue that I'm having. There's a big difference in the size between the Lasfit and these. So let me get this put in there. Yeah, there's a little bit of difference in the brightness between the two of them. Holy crap. Okay, I'd say this is insane on the left and lukewarm on the right. That is awesome. Awesome! Well, the difference between the stock lights and the aftermarket Lasfit LED lights is unbelievable. And the difference between the Lasfit and some other cheaper versions of the LEDs, there's a huge difference in that too. These are the brightest, the least issues with, the best LED lights you can get. Alright, I got some bulbs, 4257A for the Maverick Lariat front turn signals right here from Lasfit, and I couldn't find them anywhere, to tell you the truth. I looked high and low, and finally I looked behind the bench at the shop and they'd fallen in behind. I was like, man, where the heck are they? So let's install these and see the difference between the stock ones and the Lasfit, which I know is going to be just absolutely amazing. Okay, that's what the stock ones look like at night on the Maverick. The regular incandescent bulbs are not LED or anything weird like that. I think it's like a 1157 amber or whatever it is. So let's hook this baby in, the Lasfit. Jeez. Lord have mercy, that's blinding. Yeah, it's just a little bit different. Holy moly, that is so bright. Very awesome. You can kind of see the difference if I move over here. That's the stock one. And I go over here. Unbelievably bright, so I'll go ahead and put the other one in. Holy crap, that's nice. Holy moly. That is amazingly bright, that's for sure. It lights up the whole freaking house. Okay, before I end the video, I wanted to show you just a little bit of footage from the Thinkware dash cam on the Maverick. If you go to Thinkware's website, you can download their viewer, and this is what that looks like. If you have the GPS attachment, it'll show you how fast you're going. You can pull down your map, and it'll actually show you exactly where you are at. And with the satellite, you can look at the front or the back. Here's a back camera view. You actually can go in and change the settings on your dash cam right here. So when you plug it into the camera, it'll actually change the settings if you want it to. So it's pretty robust as far as that goes, but the video quality is excellent. Let's go back to the front. It does record sound, but I have the radio turned up, so I can't really do that. You can download it, you can save it, you can make it brighter, whatever. So the player gives you all kinds of different options to do something with the video if you want to. Hopefully I'll be doing the Idiot of the Week videos with this. Super happy with that. I think it's a worthwhile investment, and the Lasfit LED bulbs are nothing short of amazing. I'm going to be ordering all the rest of them to do the conversion on the Maverick to do the rest of the bulbs, because I think that that is such a great investment in keeping you safe. Now, does it look cool? Absolutely, man. That thing just blows your mind how bright it is. However, if you can increase your visibility to other drivers, you may not be one of those people that has the last video from your Thinkware dash cam as the goodbye to your Maverick and see it on Copart. But any questions, comments, post them below. The lights will be a way more easy install than the dash cam, that's for sure. I look forward to putting those in. Any questions, comments, post them below. I appreciate you being a subscriber. The Maverick is an amazing truck, and it's going to be a lot brighter going down the road after I put in Lasfit LED lighting. I'm David from Redneck Garage. Keep turning wrenches.